Howdy! How's everybody out there in YouTube land today? I hope this finds you well. I think everybody knows the drill by now, what I say every time that I turn this thing on. Oh my. It's cooled down today, but it has been so hot. Mercy sakes alive. I tell you what, you know Luana.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she comes in here every once in a while when she ain't working. Well, the other day, me and her got on Messenger, and we was talking about how hot it was. Mm-hmm. And we exchanged some pictures back and forth.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
We exchanged some pictures of our pussies in front of the fan. Ain't neither one of us on a cat.
Oh, no. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Hi, everybody. I'm Matt. This is Mind Equals Blown.
That should have blown your mind right there. I told her, I said, I'm going to tell everybody we've done this.
So you can't lead off with the gold material because then people won't stick around.
Who said it ain't going to get better from here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh, we got, let's see, Monarch Garden is in the house. We got Jim Bashir's in the house. Frenzy Wicked Truth is in the house. Jim Dockrell, my brother from another mother, is in the house. Now, just in case nobody has noticed, I did put up the thumbnail and the pre, I don't know what you call it, the pre-thing.
The show page for next week's show.
Yeah, so that you can, hit that button for reminder on that thing. And it shows who is going to be the co-host next week while you're off on your busman's holiday. And it just so happens that it's my brother from another mother. So there may or there may not be a show for you to come back to in August.
Oh, man. Oh, no.
The two of us may get started and not know when to stop.
I just put in the chat room, hit the get reminder button for next week's show. So there's a link to next week's show with Jim Dockrell as the co-host. Absent Matt Haas, I will not be on next week's show as a host. And yes, I wouldn't be surprised if I came back to scorched earth on the Mind Equals Blown show. Because who knows what kind of trouble you two are going to get into.
Oh, man. Well, it'll be something. I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be something.
I was doing my All Things YouTube live show, and Jim's in there like normal, and he's commenting, and a lot of times he's talking to other people. A lot of times he's commenting about what I'm talking about, and it's, relevant. And then he puts the zinger in there, and I put the zinger right up on screen every time.
He knows how to catch you.
Yeah. Oh, Harnell Media snuck in here. Hi, Steve from Harnell
Hey,
Media.
Steve. Good to see you. Everybody hit that like button and that share out button. We get a bunch of people in here. We'll do a giveaway after a while.
Woohoo.
I have been so busy this week. Good gravy. I'll tell you what. Started out Monday. Dennis had to go to the doctor. So we went on, one of our road trips. It's like filming Louise on the road. And I noticed, now I've never noticed him do this before, but I noticed this time that, how they have that little strap up there on the window up next to the window, and he's hanging on to that damn thing for dear life every time I went around the corner.
Oh no.
And it's all I could do.
Here. I'm Loom Knitter.
Hey, Mrs. Mitchell, good to see you. Oh, mercy. But yeah, I noticed that it was the first time I ever seen it. It's all I could do to keep from laughing. But he'd say, well, hang a left up here. I'd say, hang a left. And
there's an official name for that. You know what it's called?
A thing bob up on the window.
Well, it's called something else. It's called an oh shit handle. Oh shit.
Well, he probably had to clean himself by the time he got home because he's hanging on to that thing pretty good.
I can just see you driving that little bug,
Yep.
And hey, Russ from Simply Wooden Creations is here.
Good to see you, Russ. Hope everything's going well down there in Florida. Did beans the other day too. My garden come in, and it doesn't look like there's going to be much of a second picking on them beans. But Lord, I like to pick myself to death. Got them all picked, and then I had to come in and get them broke and get them washed and get them cooking. And then I had to put them up, and freezer was already full. And now, well, it's past capacity. It's kind of bulged out on the sides.
Oh, no. Shove them in.
Yeah.
Compress.
Oh, mercy. But yeah, I got the beans put up, and the tomatoes are coming on good. I went out and picked me 3, about a little smaller than tennis ball size, I guess, green maters out there, and fried them up for my dinner the other night. That was some good eating. So I enjoyed that. And I've been working on my tiles. I got some of them up on Etsy now, and some of them I don't have up on Etsy yet.
Ooh.
But got a bunch of them done. I don't know. I don't think I've showed you these, unless you was over on Russ's show the other night. But
I saw your Facebook post. Yeah. Freehand, right?
Yeah, my freehand drawings.
All
and
right.
That's one, and here's another little different composure, I guess, for that one. So yeah, I've been working on them. That's besides my paintings, and so I wanted to get some of them up on Etsy. People have been begging me to get them up on Etsy, so I got the painted ones up. I just don't have the free art up. I was working on them last night. There's a lot of work to trying to put stuff online there to sell. You got to get decent pictures of them, and it's hard for me to take a decent picture to begin with. The ones I got are about half decent, but it's better than some of the stuff that I've taken pictures of before.
Well, what cell phone do you have?
I got a Samsung S10 Plus.
Yeah, use the camera in that.
Yeah, but still, shadows and trying to get the angle right. And
you put them outside. Outside with a cell phone, can't go wrong. Lots of light.
Well, there ain't no decent place here. Not a lot of light here. And lots of trees to block everything. I've got one of them light boxes, them halos. So I was using a halo, and the picture didn't turn out too bad. But you got to watch because light will glare off those tiles, and that'll mess things up. Yeah. But I finally got some halfway decent pictures, and then you got to edit them. You got to crop them down, resize them, get them so that Etsy will accept them. And
you got to put the title, the description, the keywords, the pricing, the shipping, the blah, 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 blah,
yeah.
blah, metadata.
Go through all that garbage. So by the time I got done yesterday, I had 3 sets up, and that was it. And I was so tired, I couldn't even focus on the screen anymore. I thought, okay, this is it. I'm just put them up on Facebook. Somebody's interested in these freestyles, they can just tell me, and maybe save me having to put them up on Etsy. But so far, nobody said anything, so I guess they'll probably go up on Etsy.
Okay, that's good.
So by the time it's all said and done, I slept all day today. That was my claim to fame today. Is I just curled up, and I kept setting the alarm because I had good intentions. Like I got these things I need to do. So, I'll just sleep here an hour and a half, and then I'll get up. And the alarm go off, and Lord, it wake me up out of such a sound sleep. You thought I was dead. And I said, well, if I'm sleeping that good, I need to keep sleeping. So that's how my day went.
Well, there you go. I got some new fun things. Look at this thing here. What that is?
Looks like a water bottle or something.
It's a water bottle, but this piece here, this is replaceable, and inside this is juice concentrate. And when you drink it, it puts a little bit of the juice concentrate into each sip, and you can control how much juice comes out. And it's good for about 6 drinks. And then you take this out and you throw it in the garbage. So you never have to clean it. Well, assuming you can drink it to have 6 drinks, before it needs to be cleaned. And then, so it's a little something new, and it's got a little stopper here that you can put this so it doesn't flip up on your nose, and it has a little, I don't know, how do you, crick hole, I guess is what it's, my wife found them, but I don't know.
Well, I broke down the other day and bought one of those reverse osmosis water filters.
Right. They take everything out. So
I'm waiting for that to come in. This is one of the sits on the counter because there ain't no room under my sink. I got the tiniest kitchen you ever seen in your life. Okay. But I've got to go get the vice grips out of the garage and get that screw thing off of the faucet because I can't loosen it by hand. I'll have to use vice grips on it. And then hook that thing up and see if I can't get some decent water in here to drink, because the city water here just tastes awful. And that way I can stop buying bottled water and having to lug them cases of bottled water around and making that mess.
Right.
So I'm just waiting on the thing to come in, and then we'll get to figuring that out. Like, I need one more thing to do. Good Lord, you never seen so much stuff in your life that I got to do.
I tried to install my own reverse osmosis system in my first house, and I woke up to a house full of water. It went all in the kitchen, found its way downstairs, ruined the downstairs, ruined the kitchen. Should have got a professional to install it.
Well, this is supposed to be one. Now, I'll find out when it gets here, but you're just supposed to hook it up to the tap on the sink. That's it, just to the faucet. And you can still get water, you can, however, push some button there or something, and you can still get water to come out of the faucet thing, but it sits beside your sink. It has a faucet on the filter thing so that you can fill your water glasses or pitchers or whatever you're using there. And so we'll see. I mean, if it ain't what they say it is, I guess I'll be sending it back. But it looked, from everything I could tell about it online, like it was something that I could deal with.
Yeah. My puppy's here. I don't know if you could probably hear her earlier. She was barking. Why?
No, I didn't hear her.
She's not talking to me. Well, I bought myself another keyboard. Can you
need another one?
There's two keyboards there. There's this keyboard.
Mom always said you need two of everything.
Well,
one to shit on, one to cover it up with.
I can't stop buying keyboards. This is the third, well, technically the fourth keyboard. No one told. They should warn you before you start playing an instrument that you'll have to buy a whole bunch of them. It's crazy. And then I need cables to get it into my soundboard. I need adapters.
What do you think about Bezos going off into space the other day?
Well, what I think is I think that I don't understand what the big to-do is. Some people have a real problem with it. I'm like, how is it hurting you? I don't know. He's the wealthiest man alive. He wants to go into space on his own rocket. More power to him.
Well, he the thing that I didn't like about it is after he came back down, which I don't think they should have ever allowed him to come back down. He should have just gone up Penn State. But when he came back down, then he thanked all of the customers and the employees because they're the ones that made this possible.
Working hard to send Jeff in space. Yeah. I mean, well,
Jim Dockrell says, "Are you kidding? He accomplished something NASA did in 1961.
I guess the big thing, this is a private entity, not a government-owned entity.
And just that much more reason they should have left him up there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey. Well, you know what makes the money? It's the AWS, the Amazon Web Services. That makes more revenue than products. I don't know if you know this, but Amazon will rent you computer space in their computer warehouses.
Yeah.
And it's a multi-billion-dollar endeavor. I think almost 70% of earnings, maybe 60, come from Amazon Web Services, and less than 40 comes from the products, and the leftovers come from some of the other miscellaneous things they're into, like Twitch and some other things like that.
But think how much money that he spent on that could have been used for something positive.
Oh, well, there was a crew with him doing other important things. He was just there for the ride. It wasn't just to send him he didn't go to space just to go to space. They were testing. I think weren't they testing the capabilities and it had a crew of legit astronauts and specialists there. And there's like, oh, there's two empty seats, Jeff. Why don't you and your did his brother go too? I heard he was taking someone else with him.
Surely they could have found a place to drop him off.
A lot of memes. They're like, you know, this package got sent to the wrong house, and it's the capsule of, you know, hey, Niantic River Woodcrafting with Chris Nealon is here. Hello.
Hey, Chris, good to see you. Yeah, I think that I just opened the door and just pushed him out and said, we'll send somebody to pick you up later. You just explore up here and, you know.
Well, Elon Musk has this on the calendar, or at least has plans for this. He's going to test his Falcon Heavy, I think. And during this test flight, there's going to be 6 seats for passengers, and a rich Japanese billionaire is already he bought all the seats. And the rich Japanese billionaire is saying, if you want to be on this trip, and it's going to go around the moon, it's going to go all the way out to the moon, around the dark side, the back side of the moon, and then come back to Earth and land. And there's going to be, I think, 6 civilians with other astronauts on board. And the billionaire saying, if you're an artist, he only wants to take artists because they want him to be inspired by what happened and then make good art when they come back home. So he's looking for musicians, for painters, for video artists, you know, all kinds of art. So if you're an artist and you want to go on a trip around the moon on Jeff Bezos's yet to be determined date and time, where he's going to send the Falcon Heavy up, and listen, manned space flight, it only goes into low Earth orbit. Like, we haven't been out of low Earth orbit for a long time. And even the space shuttle, it's not that far up. It is not that far up out there. Like, this is going all the way to the moon. The moon is far away. It is really far.
You know, when I was a kid, that's when they sent them up there to, you know, to walk on the moon. My mother let me stay up late that night, you know, to watch them when they landed on the moon, walk around and all that. And the big thing when I was a kid was every time you misbehaved, your mother would tell you, I'm going to send you into orbit.
Yeah. Hey, Jimbo's here. Hi, Jimbo.
Hi, Jimbo. Good to see you. Hope everything's well in your world. Yeah. We're talking about people going off on these spaceships out into space. You know, you talking about him wanting to take artists up there reminds me that there's going to be a new Heather Haven going up tonight.
Ooh.
And she's talking about inspiration and how to whip the writer's block.
Oh, good deal. Good deal. I love me some Heifer Havens. Dear Heifer Haven.
All that artist block foolishness, you know, how to get past all that. So I wish I'd known this story then, but you know.
Yeah. Well, so Mark, I don't know if you follow the channel called Wintergarten. No. It's a German word. Wintergarten Wednesday, and Martin is the host, and he's building a mechanical musical marble machine. So he's got a xylophone, a bass, and a couple cymbals and drums, and it's going to drop marbles on these instruments. And he's been building it for years on his YouTube channel. And I think he applied to be on the mission around the dark side of the moon. And he said, if I'm not chosen, I will do the music for this event from the marble machine. Like he offered to just compose the music on his marble machine. I'll tell you what, that is one of my favorite channels on YouTube is Wintergarten Wednesday. They're building a mechanical musical instrument, and it's everything I love. It's some woodworking, it's metalworking. He has a big CNC to do the precision cut parts. He's got the gears. He's got a planetary gear type thing, and the marbles go up around, and it could be played with no electricity, but he did put a motor on it, just, you know, so his arm wouldn't. But it's technically an analog marble machine, and it is very precise, very high end. He's got clock escapements, dropping them, and he labors over what's the best way to position the marble, and can the marbles go 10,000 times without failing? Can it go 30,000 times? Can it go 80,000 times? He wants this. He wants the tolerances to be like one failure in a million opportunities. Because there used to be marbles all over the floor. They used to fly out of the machine here and there, and he's whacking down all the bugs. He's like, okay, I'm going to change this, and now they're not going to escape, and they're not going to get hung up here or jammed up. It's amazing. I love it. It's engineer. Like, I love engineer. Once I get my CNC machine built, I'm building a CNC machine over here on this channel. I'm doing I'm going to go to 1001movements.com. It's all types of gears. Like, so it's like, you know, how you move a piston like this with a wheel, you know, moving it, or, you know, how you take rotational motion and turn it into linear motion. They've got all these weird, like, planetary gears, and it's all out there, and you can build them. So I'm just gonna build a whole bunch of weird moving parts out of wood, mostly with gears, and that's what I'm gonna start doing. And eventually I'll do kinetic wall sculptures, CNC'd out of wood. And it's going to be artwork on the wall, and it's going to move, and it's going to do all kinds of weird shit. Anyway, but Wintergarten Wednesday. Oh, I love it. I love this channel. Highly recommend.
We'll say hey to Cowboy JoJo's Adventures out there.
Oh, hi, Cowboy. I didn't see you jump in here.
He's coming in from Australia. Say hey to him. Hope everything's going well down there. Mercy sakes, I tell you what. We're getting some people in the house. My goodness gracious, we're up to 10.
Woohoo!
Y'all like this, share it out. Let's get more people in the house. The more we get in here, the more we can give away.
Send Matt up, says Jim. I'm too old for that.
I'll tell you what, it's an adventure just to get up off the couch anymore.
Yeah.
Things kind of got exciting here last night, though, for a little while. I almost had a threesome.
A threesome?
I only needed 2 more people.
Oh, I saw that joke on the internet. You've been posting those memes and jokes on the internet.
You like the ones I've been putting up this week?
Oh yeah. Oh, I see them all. I don't always react, but I see them all. When they're like exceptional, I'll do the reaction or put a comment in there. Yeah, I like it. Some companies have the worst music when you're on hold. Yeah. See, if I owned a company, my hold music would be elevator music, but it would be all 80s hair bands. Like, pour some sugar on me. Or, you know, shout at the devil. Unskinny butt.
See, when they put me on hold, I make up my own music. You know, so when they come back, I don't stop, you know, when they answer the phone. And they come back, I'll be singing things like, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor.
That's the Halo 3 theme song. Oh my God. When did Halo 3 come out? Halo 3 premiere. When did that come out? 2007. All right. So my son was around 8 years old when we were playing that game. And he would waste everybody. He would just lay waste to the whole opposing team. It was sick. So we would put on, let the bodies hit the all these bodies are, he had a pile of them. They were piling up because he was in this one little enclosed space where, you know, only one way in, one way out. And he would have the light sword or the sword, and people would come in there all guns ablaze and get them with the sword, and they would just fall dead. It was great. What's Jim
Well, how many
saying
likes
now?
did you put on this video today?
2.
All right.
All things YouTube and Awesome with Things.
That ain't enough, but it's a start.
Well, how many would you like?
How many channels you got?
14.
There you go.
That's a lot of signing in and outs, Brenda.
Are you saying that I'm not worth it?
I'm a busy guy. No, I usually bebop around those 2 channels, All Things YouTube and Awesome with Things. So
It don't take you that long to polish your headlights that you can't put likes on this from every channel you got.
All right, here we go. Let's get it going here. Oh, that's the wrong button. I'm pushing buttons here, Brenda.
Well, people try to push my buttons every day.
All right, so there's Awesome Wood Things. Let's see. We'll switch to the Matthew Haas channel. Give that a like. You can subscribe to the Matthew Haas. I don't recommend it. It's just what they gave me with Gmail.
Since you do the All Things YouTube, you should know that the more likes that hit any particular show, the more that it's promoted by YouTube. So you should be, really trying to get this thing promoted here. Get people in here watching this. Lord knows there ain't nothing else like it on YouTube.
I hope. Oh, I can even do Awesome Money Things. That's a channel I created but never put any videos up.
Well, it's hard to do when you're broke.
Every time I do this, I hear the show about 20 seconds in the past. Okay, there we go.
My awesome money thing is trying to hit the lottery every time it rolls around.
There's my defunct channel, Learn Adobe Now. Piano Awesome. Do you want a Piano Awesome like?
Of course.
Okay, there you go. Like that. And there, that's all. Those are all the ones that I own. Okay, so that was how many likes did I give you there? That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 likes. That's how many accounts I have. I don't have 14. I have 8.
Well, that's a good start.
Okay. How many likes did the audience put on this? You saw what I went through. Come on, I'm counting on you. Counting on you.
Get this thing promoted out. Let's get some people in here because we do things here that they don't do on any other channel.
That's the truth.
Well, it's about time for us to do a giveaway.
All right.
And it looks like we got none. We've lost one. So, okay. One of them lost interest, I guess.
Chris wants to know who's in charge here. We don't know.
There ain't nobody in charge here. There's never been anybody in charge.
We just show up.
That's the beauty of the whole thing. Ain't nobody in charge. It's kind of like, remember that old Hogan's Hero show where Sergeant Schultz says, I see nothing, I know nothing, I see nothing. That's what this is, I don't know nothing. I don't see nothing.
I know nothing.
Nothing much is planned. I mean, we have things like we're going to, introduce the people that's in the chat and say hey to them. And we got, we're going to talk about whatever happened in our lives this week. And we talk about the giveaway and, maybe something that's in the news and maybe throw out some mind-blowing facts, and you all throw out some mind-blowing facts. And that's basically what happens here. But you never know what we're liable to do or say.
Yeah. And the show always goes off the rails at some point.
Get me talking about, things that happened back in the day, and you just never know what's liable to transpire.
You started off with a good zinger. If you didn't watch the first minute of the show, rewind and watch the first minute. Brenda dropped a zinger for sure. All right, we doing a giveaway?
I guess if you're going to talk about it.
I'll talk about it. All right, folks, make sure you're not behind time because we're all going to do something at the same time. Brenda wrote down a number on a piece of paper. If you guess the number exactly, you will win. The winner will be shown up to 4 prizes after the winner is chosen. You can only vote once. You vote when Brenda says go and not before, and you vote one time. Super chats help fund the shipping because Brenda is on a fixed income. She will ship anywhere in the lower 48 states for free. And if you live outside the lower 48, you can still play and either regift it to someone in the chat or pay for the shipping out of country because that gets expensive. And that's the way it goes here. Brenda's very generous with this. You don't have to do this for the community, but we appreciate you mailing physical prizes to the audience members who win. She writes down this number with words. She doesn't do digits. She writes it out in words, and she goes crazy with capitalization because she knows I'm a publishing professional and it drives me crazy. And she likes to drive me crazy. So we added an extra spin to this. You can win a bonus prize by guessing how many capital letters she's chosen to use. And she usually has many because the more capital letters there are, the more it annoys me. And she loves to annoy me. So what you would do is you would type your guess for what she wrote down, / and then how many capital letters. And then you guess one time after she says go. How'd I do?
He calls it me annoying him. I call it busting his chops. But hey,
yeah,
either way it works.
Oh, Miss Mitchell says she loves the Dreamcatcher she won the other day.
Well, I'm glad you like it. Well, the range is between 40 and 49. So keep that in mind. The range tonight is between the number 40 and the number 49.
You ready?
Go.
All right, folks. Put in the chat a number that is between 40 and 49. Guess once. Put the / and then put your bonus tip in there. Bonus prize guess for the number of capital letters.
We got a winner.
A winner already. 42. I don't see 42.
Oh, shoot. Well, I'll be dogged. My eyes playing tricks on me with this.
The first one to write 42 wins.
Dang. Well, we'll have to do it again. Let me write down another number.
Okay. This is canceled. This is forfeited. We forfeit this game.
That's the first time I've ever done that. Okay. Let's see here. Let me get a number wrote down.
Hey, you never know what's going to happen here on Mind Equals Blown, folks. Thank you for being good sports about it.
I got these doggone allergies and it makes my eyes mess up. Okay. I've got a number. I got it wrote down. I've got some capital letter there in it. Okay. The range is between 50 and 59. 50 and 59. Go.
All right, folks. New game. 50 and 59. Between 50 and 59. It could be 50. It could be 59. Or it could be anything in between.
We'll see if I can make my eyes work this time around.
All right. They're coming in now. 56, 55, 40, 42 is too low, Jim. 55 again. 52. A lot of 55s.
I seem to like them double nickels, but it ain't a double nickel. Okay, I guess they're all done. We can try it again.
Okay, when you're ready.
Go. Take a look what's up there. It ain't none of them.
Oh, shit. I wrote 40. Oh, I keep swearing. I'm sorry. You know, it's between 50 and 59.
Between 50 and 59. And it ain't none of the numbers I put up there.
All right, here we go. Yep. Let me get some music going here. Can you hear that?
I can hear it. Okay,
Ooh.
nobody's guessed it yet.
Now DC, Kool-Aid, and Lisa, guess a number between 50 and 59.
Gosh, I haven't seen you guys in a while. I hope everything's fine where you are. We're doing a little giveaway here. The range is between 50 and 59.
Put your guess in the chat right now. You could win a prize.
The second number is how many capital letters I put in that word. And that's for the bonus prize.
Oh, she had a guess. He or she.
Well, nobody guessed. Can y'all just take a look at the numbers that's up there and know that it ain't none of them and try it again?
I think Chris put all possible numbers.
No, he didn't either because we don't have a winner yet.
He just put 5 numbers down.
It ain't none of them.
Oh my gosh. All right. So it's not 50. It's not 51. It's not 52. It's not 53. It's not 54. It's not 56. It's not 55. It's not 58. That leaves
Yep.
7 and 50, 57, 59, and 60. Pick a number that's 57.
The only one that hasn't been picked.
Pick a number that's 57. 50,
Okay. Chris got it. Lord have mercy.
57. Okay. Chris, you're the winner. Congratulations.
Chris, you're the winner. I guess I picked the hard one, didn't I?
Aussie Man popped in. Hi. Oh, wait. Have you been here?
Hey, Aussie Man. Good to see you. How's everything down there in Australia land? Land down under.
Got dingoes down there.
Okay, we got Chris Nayland is the winner. Now I'm going to tell him what he gets to choose from. We got a dream catcher. That's
Another
got
dream catcher.
some red feathers on this one, and it's got the little bear fetish thing on there, and some beads. Or that's a buffalo, I guess.
I was going to say, it looks like a buffalo.
It's a buffalo.
Black and red always reminds me of Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
And we got the purple dragon's eye are on the cabochon. And we got the box made with the sawdusto from Shelly Cole's recipe. The little box that I decorated up and put felt on the inside of it. And we got the iPod case. Well, shoot, can't get it out of the package. You'd think I'd have plenty of practice at doing that, wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. We got the iPod case that's got the Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
It's an iPod holder. Yeah. iPod case holder.
There you go. It's got the little hole in the bottom of it so you can charge them up and all that kind of thing. And it's got the who's-y me doozy thing.
Carabiner.
On your the carbonator.
Carabiner.
The cool beanator.
Hey, we got a super chat from Chris Nealon.
Thanks, Chris. So
thank you.
Which of them prizes would you like? The box, the dream catcher, the dragon's eye, or the Ben and Jerry's earpod case? Tell me which one. I'll put your name on it.
There we go. Got super chat lights going.
Yoo-hoo! Do my little dance.
Yep.
He wants the dream catcher. All right, so we put his name on the dream catcher. And Chris, if you could send me your mailing address over on the messenger, that would be cool, and I can get that all packaged up to send out to you. Send it out in the morning when I run my errands, and that way it'll be winging its way off to you, so you have pleasant dreams. Princess said, I won a hell of a lot of Walmart plastic bags last time. when I went to pack that little dog dish water bowl thing
Right.
to send her, I got the box because of that round globe thing on it. You know, it had to be a good sized box.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was plenty of room left over in there. And I thought, well, now what am I going to stuff this with to get this off to her? And so I had an abundance of Walmart bags. And they're lightweight, you know, so it wasn't going to add a lot of weight to the package to mail it. So I stuffed it full of Walmart bags. When she opened it up, she thought that's all she'd won was Walmart bags.
Wow.
So she got a lifetime supply of Walmart bags along with her little dog dish.
I had some shipping shenanigans. You want to hear me complain for a minute?
Sure.
So, you know, I broke my phone.
Yeah.
I think I showed the cracked phone last show. And you got to mail them back. Now, the Apple store wouldn't take them back. Like they always take them back because you trade them in. They're trade-ins. Mm-hmm. They give you money off your new purchase if you abandon your old phone. Like, nope, we're not taking them anymore. AT&T's got to take custody of it. And you got 14 days to do it. I'm like, okay. So get home, the weekend's over. 3 days later, I call them. I'm like, how do I send these back? And they're like, send me to this page. And they're like, the page is to request new shipping material if they never arrived. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? And he goes, oh, we sent you a box with the label. I'm like, oh, it'll be there in a day or two. So then I wait up to 5 days and there's no box. I call back and they're like, oh, no, we didn't send you anything. I'm like, top clock's ticking. You know, I'm getting ready to go out of town. I'm like, I gotta get these things back, or they're gonna charge me hundreds of dollars to keep this old hardware that they legally own. And so I'm like, well, give me the shipping label. I'll pack them up myself. They're like, okay, we just sent it to your email. Nothing shows up. I'm like, and they can't just generate the shipping label. They've got to tie it to the purchase. So there's like 20 minutes of finding my order and the EMEI number, making sure it was all, because once they get it, they're going to blip in anyway. So doesn't show up. I'm like, Matthew Haas Geek at gmail.com. MATT, like it's never shows up because, well, you could put in this number and then you can generate your own. So I'm like, okay. So I put in the number. I finally got the barcode because they gave me two confirmation numbers. So I had 2 phones. I need to give 2 phones back, 1 package each. So I print them out and I write Matt on the one, and I print out my wife's Tracy, and I get her shipping label. And instead of writing Tracy, I write Matt. So I put Matt on both. I'm like, oh my God. So then I go back to the tool and I hit to generate another one because I'm like, okay, well, and it generates a brand new barcode with a brand new number, like a 3rd number. And I'm like, so I print that one out. And I somehow finally got this all figured out. Oh, and before that, they're like, oh, you could take it back to an AT&T store. So I call an AT&T store before I did the label printing. Mm-hmm. And I said, can I bring this phone back? You got to take it to an AT&T corporate store. We're a satellite store. I'm like, okay, well, where's the corporate store? I said, it's in the mall or whatever. So I call the guy up in the mall. Are you an AT&T corporate store? Yes, we're a corporate store. I'm like, I traded in my phone at the Apple store. They said I need to come to the corporate store. And the Apple rep who sold me the phone in store told me that. And then I called Apple because they sent me the email. They said the email said, here's the button from Apple to generate your barcode. The button has no link on it. It was just a graphic of a button. Like I even looked at the HTML of the page and there was no button. So anyway, talk to this guy at the corporate store. He's like, oh no, we can't take them. you got to mail them back. I'm like, 2 people told me. I finally got it all figured out. I was ready to throw these things down the street. What a mess. How hard is it to buy new freaking cell phones? It's so complicated. So complicated. And then when I was at the store, I froze my credit. You know, no one can hit my credit report for security. and I have 3 phones, 2 on AT&T and 1 on, oh, I shouldn't say that. 2 on one carrier and another on another carrier. And the 2, they're like, okay, fine. They went through. But the other carrier, they wanted to pull my credit report and I had everything frozen. I couldn't buy. I couldn't buy. Even if I paid outright for the phone, because the phone's like $1,000, it's still because you still need to go to a credit report for them to make a new plan, because you have to make monthly payments. You have to pay the bill monthly. Even though I could, I'm like, oh my god.
That's
and
why
I didn't have the password to unlock my credit report, because I had it on a piece of paper.
That's why I like Straight Talk. I bought my phone outright, and I pay once a year. It's prepaid. I get all the use on it that I require, nothing extra. That's just it. And hopefully this will last a lot longer. I mean, it's coming up on 2 years now. I'm hoping that it'll last me a lot longer, because, the prices on everything keep going sky high, and I'm on fixed income. It doesn't go up.
I was like, I can't make this stuff up. Like, I can understand if there's like one little snafu, but the AT&T satellite store messed me up. The AT&T corporate store messed me up. The Apple store wouldn't take ownership of the old phones. That messed me up. The barcode going to my email inbox wasn't the email. I never got these emails. And then me generating 5 or 6 different barcodes, brand new barcodes. In the UPS system, there's like 7 packages that are like barcode label created, and then no other activity. Whatever. I don't care. I want these things out of my life.
It sounds real similar to the mess I went through with Dell with that desktop computer that they sent that wouldn't work.
Oh, hey, Mr. Doughboy's here. Hi, Mr. Doughboy.
Hey, Mr. Doughboy. Good to see you. Yeah, I went through jumping hoops and everything else, and then they wouldn't give me credit. Was wanting to charge me on my Dell card and charge me interest and everything else for something that I'd returned, because they're saying that they didn't get it back, and I knew that they'd got it back. And
I hate how they're so patronizing, and they make you do the stupidest stuff. Like, is it powered on? I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, well, we'll just swap the hard drive with a hard drive with one that's already formatted from that. And that's still like, I know something is wrong with it. Like, I don't need to go through the basics. They always make you go through the basics. Same thing when you call the internet company.
It spent more time online with tech support in the 3 weeks that I had it than I spent working with it. That's how much, I was on the phone every day with Dell, and had them doing the remote stuff and everything with it, to the point where I knew just about every tech by name. And finally, that last one I talked to, he says, look, we've done everything that we know to do for this. It's time for you to send it back. And I said, well, I've been waiting for you to say that so that I could get the thing sent back. Now, what do I have to do? And Lord have mercy, that was worse than the 3 weeks that I'd spent with tech support. And, they didn't issue me the right stuff to send it back. And, the shipper didn't show up to pick it up. And then when I did get a shipper to pick it up, it didn't have the right tags and stuff with it, but he said he'd take it anyway. And then they said that they didn't get it back. And I ended up having to go to small claims court and file. And once I filed with small claims court, then they took it off my Dell card. That's when they took it off the Dell card. But I was still out the money for filing in small claims court. I was out $100 to do that. And it was like 3 or 4 days later, I get a call from the Dell attorney wanting to know how we can rectify this situation. And I'd already dropped the case because they had taken it off my bill, and I said, well, look, I've dropped the case. However, you want to make this right? You reimburse me for the money that I had to file out there for the small claims court because you people wouldn't stand up behind your equipment and have run me around ragged for the last month for a piece of equipment that didn't work. Yeah. Well, I'll talk to him about it and I'll get back to you. And of course, you never did.
Well, see, that's the same thing. I'm like, can you escalate someone at Apple that you're sending emails with the click here button to generate your barcode, and the button is not clickable. I'm like, it contains no link. Oh, well, I'm not, that's from the retail store. I'm like, you got to ask, just tell me you're going to tell someone about it. I'm like, I wouldn't let the guy go because he's like, I don't know who to tell. I'm like, tell your supervisor. Anyway.
Yeah, it amazes me how, the buck seems to stop with the person that you got on the other end of the phone, that they don't have nobody in charge of them. There's no managers, there's no supervisors, nobody that they can talk to. And I'm not going to believe that. I might have been born at night, but it wasn't last night. There's somebody in charge. If you go to sleep on the job, who is it that's going to come and kick you out of the chair? There's somebody there that's going to be getting your attention.
I love that. That's a great lie, because that you've got to answer that. Because someone was telling me they wanted to refinance something, and their whole line was, oh, there's no out of pocket. I'm like, well, how much is it going to cost me? What's the interest? Oh, there's no out of pocket. She would not answer the question. So I finally said to her, I'm like, well, I got a question about your employment. She goes, what? I'm like, oh, just humor me here. I'm like, you get a paycheck for doing work for this company, right? Well, yeah. I'm like, where do the funds come from that go into your paycheck? How does the company you work for earn money? Because there's no out of pocket. She was like, click. Like she knew, like, check and mate. I was like, don't tell me you're going to refinance. Refuse to tell me what the APR, the annual percentage rate is, and just give me this, there's no out of pocket.
Yeah. It's amazing to me, how if they don't have the answer to your question, how quickly you get disconnected. I was taught a long time ago, the easiest thing to get rid of is a phone call, because, they can hang up on you. And the next easiest is mail, because, they can always file 13, something that you send them in the mail. The hardest thing to get rid of is a body.
Well, yeah.
If you show up in person and you are demanding answers, they're going to have a hell of a time getting rid of you. So I always like to make it in person. When years ago, when I was working midnights, I had an old Dodge that I was driving, and it had over 200,000 miles on it. And so it was, starting to give up the ghost. And when I would get off work of a morning, at least 2 days a week, I would end up at the Dodge dealer, taking it in to have something fixed, repaired, figure out what's wrong with it, kind of thing. And I go in there dead tired after I'd worked all night. And they'd say, well, have a seat out in the waiting room and we'll get to you as quick as we can. All right. So I'd go in the waiting room, I'd go to sleep. I'd wake up, there'd be, 6, 7, 8 people sitting all around me, watching me drool and snore and, whatever I was doing. And I'd just say, hey, I'm sorry, but I worked all night and come in here and get my vehicle fixed. I'm tired. And I hate that you have to see me this way, but hey, when I close my eyes, I don't have to look at you. And I just go back to sleep. And they couldn't get rid of me until they got my car fixed. They'd always ask me, you having somebody pick you up? No, I live here now. You get my car fixed and I'll leave.
Yeah.
But that's the way to handle them. Just sit there. I live here now. I ain't going nowhere. You got a loaner? You got a loaner? I'll take off with that. I had them promise me when I owned my Kia. They promised me when I bought it. They said, anything goes wrong with it, we will give you a loaner car if it has to be here overnight. Sounds good to me. So I had to take it in and it had to stay overnight. Now, they started out telling me it wouldn't have to stay overnight. It needed a new windshield. The windshield had cracked in it. And so I knew it was going to have to stay overnight. I've had windshields replaced in cars before. That glue that they put them up there with has to cure. You can't be driving them with the windshield just freshly glued in them. It's going to have to stay overnight. So I took it in. I thought, now this is going to be interesting to see what they're going to do. So I took it in and they said, okay, we got the glass people coming. We'll get the new windshield in it. All right. So a little bit later, he comes in there looking at me all sheepish in the waiting room. And he says, we're going to have to keep it overnight. And I said, well, I kind of figured that was going to happen because that glue don't immediately cure. It's going to have to stay overnight. He says, well, how are you going to get home? Because I lived about 125 miles away from where the dealership was. He said, how are you going to get home? And I said, well, you're going to get me a loaner. And he says, well, no, we can get you a rental car. I said, as long as you're paying for it. He says, no, you have to pay for it. I said, when I bought this car, they told me that she's going to give me a loaner if you had to keep it. So guess what? Either you're going to get me a loaner car or I live here now. And I'll just be sleeping here overnight. I'll just be here until you get my car ready to go.
You'll take a shower in the sink in the kitchen, in the little pantry.
I'll just strip down right here, buddy, in front of God and everybody. You know, I live here. This is my house now. And so he just kind of slithered out of there with his tail between his legs, and comes back in a little bit and he says, we got you a loaner car. I said, well, that's nice. Now, it was a piece of crap as far as I was concerned, rode like a log wagon, but it was something to drive. And I had to go all the way home. And then the next morning, instead of me just being able to go to work, you know, I had to drive all the way back down there to pick my car up, which, you know, that's half a day by the time you drive all the way down there and all the way back. And yeah, so lost a bunch of time with that. And what really got me is it was something that they should have stood behind. It should have been a warranty issue, because this was not from something hitting the windshield that broke it. It was a stress crack, and they wouldn't stand behind it. And it was $600 to put a windshield in that car.
Oh my. Yeah.
And they wouldn't stand behind it. And I told them when they pulled that shenanigan with me, I said, well, guess what? You've sold me your last Kia. I said, if you aren't willing to stand behind your warranties, you want to, you know, make false promises to people and tell them that, oh, yes, anything goes wrong, you know, it's warranted and all this. That's a stress crack. And you're not going to stand behind it. You're not going to do business with me no more.
Yeah, rightfully so.
And anybody that's ever asked me about a Kia, that's the first story that I tell them. I said, they won't stand behind their warranties. Good luck. You know, you want to buy one. It might be a cheap car. It's hard to get parts for them. I hit 2 deer with the first Kia that I had.
Oh
and Lord have mercy. The first time it was down for like 2 months while you wait for the slow boat to come over from, you know, wherever to bring the parts for it. And then I had it back less than a week when I hit the second deer. Oh. And was down almost another 6 weeks with that one, and because it just takes forever to get parts for them. And I said, you know, it's hard to get parts. They're expensive to fix anything on because it's a foreign car, and they don't stand behind the warranty. So if something goes wrong with it, you're the one going to be paying for it, because don't expect that they are going to stand behind nothing.
Yeah, hitting animals is never fun. I hit that deer. And that thing spun around, man. It was like a top. Because the passenger door was dented and the front light was dented, but the mirror that sticks out in the middle was untouched. That's because it flew around the mirror. Like if this was the mirror and this is the deer went, woo. And the guy even said, that the inspector, that I brought it to the Geico place, and he's like, that's what happened. His butt hit here and his shoulder hit the thing, and it was mid-spin. That's why your mirror is on top. I was like, that's crazy.
Well, when I hit the second one, I killed it. Now the first one got away. I just grazed the back end of him, tore the car all to hell. I think it was like $1,500 worth of damage the first time. The second time it was over $2,500 worth of damage. And when I hit the second one, I get back home and I get on the phone and I call the insurance company. Now, they've been nice about the first time. I said, hey, you live out in the country. There's deer out here. It's going to happen. First time it ever happened to me, but it's going to happen. And here we are. And so they said, well, get it to the body shop, pay the deductible on it. We'll pay the rest of it. They'll let you know when it's ready. So, we did our thing. Second time I make it home. I'm like, oh my God, I have to face that insurance company again. I just barely got this car back. Oh my God. So I call him up. And the guy's nice on the other end of the phone to start off with, and I told him who it was, gave him my number and all this stuff, and he's looking things up. And I said, yeah, I've hit another deer. And he's like, you hit another deer? And I said, yep. I said, but I got this one. I said, the first one got away from me, but I said, this one I got. And he says, well, how can we be sure that you hit the deer? I said, do you want a picture of the deer? Because I can send you a picture of it. I got it strung up out here in the tree so that I can gut it and cut it up, get it in the freezer. And he says, well, I don't know if that's necessary. He says, get it to the body shop, and then we'll have to have a report done on it. And he says, you doing it this soon again, I just can't be sure that you've hit another deer. And I said, listen, now you know how I am. I said, now listen. I said, if I wanted to make a story up, would you think that I would tell you that I was driving down the road and decided that I wanted a whole front end put on my car, a whole new front end? And so I saw this deer in the ditch and I jumped out of the car and I wrestled this deer over to the front of my vehicle and picked it up and beat the hell out of the front of my car with it until the crap ran out of it and got the crap and the hair all stuck up around the headlights on my car. And then I took this deer and I threw it over in the ditch and I called the cops to come and make his claim. Does that sound reasonable? And he says, well, no, ma'am. And I said, well, then take your pick. I was on my way to work this morning in the dark and the deer jumped out in front of me and tore up the front of my car. And I wrestled it into the back of the car and got it home and hung it out here in the tree so that I can chop it up and get it in the freezer so I get something out of this deal while my car's laid up, or the second story. Now you take your pick. He says, we'll fix your car, ma'am.
There you go.
I thought, now see, I could have saved myself all of that aggravation and telling that big story if he would have just believed me that I hit the deer.
No, I hear you. Insurance companies are a unique thing. That's what I'll say.
Now, Aussie Man says, we have bull bars on our cars here. Roos are the same problem. I don't even slow down. Yeah, see, I was driving a Kia, so you couldn't get the cattle pushers or whatever you want to call them things, bull bars, whatever, on the front of something like that. If I was driving a truck, I could have. But everybody kept saying, you need to put them deer horns on your car. I said, Lord have mercy, the deer come out of the woods, chasing me down the road, trying to get in front of that car for me to hit them. If I put whistles on, it's just going to alert them that much faster I'm coming.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, trying, hey, deer, come on.
And my car, the damage was just a little bit more than the Blue Book value. Like it was almost fixable, but they wouldn't do it. They're like, I just went over by a couple $100. I was like, oh man, I love that car. I loved the car that I had. It was so awesome. Anyway, I like my car now I have now, but that car that I smashed up with the deer, man, that was my favorite car.
I don't dare hit a car with this Beetle. It will just be me in a seat sitting on the road if I hit a deer. I mean, that thing will just disintegrate if I hit something. So I am extremely careful when I'm driving with that Beetle. I don't want any big trucks around me. I don't want anything large, I assure a very good clear distance between anything that's bigger than me. That I'm going to be doggone careful because that car is not made for impact.
No.
It's a cool little car. It's got all kinds of little gadgets and stuff in it. If the phone rings while you're in there, it automatically comes up, talking to whoever it is. I had a phone call come in the other day while I was taking Dennis to the doctor, and he was amazed that phone rang and I just start talking,
Nice.
and they start answering me, and he's looking around to see how in the hell I'm talking on the phone. And then when they hung up, I held my finger up and, not to say anything until we heard the click, because just because they say goodbye to you, you haven't heard the click yet. You got to wait for them. And you don't want to know how I know that.
You told the story before. You kept going. Cowboy Jojo says, you want to avoid hitting kangaroos here. They do so much damage to the cars. Kangaroos are out in the evening or dawn. I have never hit one myself, and I am always careful on the roads.
Yeah, same here with the deers. Right at dawn or dusk. You're pretty safe in the rain because they don't like to come out on the roads in the rain. The roads are slick, and, they have a lot of trouble with their footing. But, yeah, you don't want to be dark. Like, if I go over to Dennis's house for anything and I have to come back at dark, I'm on pins and needles because the deer are thick. It's, it's country roads, wooded both sides. And yeah, so I try my best not to be coming back at dusk from over at his house and having to play dodging with the deer.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Yeah, he says kangaroo meat makes an awesome meal. I've not had kangaroo.
Kangaroos are interesting, and they're jacked. You ever see, why are they so muscular in the arms? They can punch you hard.
So they can whip you.
It's like the cartoon, the boxing kangaroo, but they really are.
They'll use them hind legs. They'll rear back on that tail and use them hind legs to kick you into the next county.
Man.
Yeah. Used to be a thing where, a lot of people had what they referred to as exotic animals, and they either had a kangaroo or a wallaby. There's a lot of people that had these wallabies in their house, and they have to diaper them and all that, because they go wherever, they go. They can't really be house trained, I guess. And so that was a thing. Oh, I was out of here. Was it yesterday? Either yesterday or the day before. I don't know. One day runs into the next for me. But pull out of my garage and go to the corner. I have to pass the church there to get to the corner, the alley and the street. And then I turn left to get to the next corner where the stop sign is. And I'm sitting there in the car looking both ways for traffic. And something moves in the church flower bed.
All right.
And I thought, what on earth? It's daylight hours. It's in the morning, but it's daylight hours. And so I look around, there was bushes and flowers and stuff there. I'm looking around over there to see what's moving over there. A groundhog.
Oh, boy.
Now, I have seen rabbits. I had a rabbit jump out at me when I was picking beans the other day. I have had raccoons climbing up on my patio roof. I've had squirrels all over everything here. Feral cats every place. The occasional dog runs through the yard. Never yet have I. Oh, and I caught a possum once in the live trap. I was trying to catch squirrels and caught a possum. A possum. But I've never seen a groundhog here until it was yesterday, because I was going up to get my hair cut. That's what it was. And so it's yesterday morning, groundhog out there in the flower bed at the church. There is more wildlife here than I experienced when I lived in the country. And we ain't talking about, the bar scene. We're talking about wildlife. Donnie the Traveler's in the house. Hello, Donnie.
Hi, Donnie.
Good to see you.
Yeah, we have squirrels, chipmunks, rabbits, and some sort of vole that's tearing up my yard. We could try and trap him, not having much help.
I may still have it. I don't know. I haven't seen it when I've been out in the garage, but I had a mole trap, and it was a thing that had spikes on it that went down in the ground, and then you pulled up the top thing on it and had a spike up in the top of it. And when the mole moved between the two spikes that's in the ground, it set it off some way, and that thing would go down and impale them, and that'd be the end of the mole. But when you're in the country, you got to have a whole bunch of them because there's moles all over the place. They'll dig up the whole countryside.
Well, Brenda, my late dinner just arrived, so should probably close her down here.
All right. Well, I'm going to be doing the Heifer Haven later tonight, so keep your eyes open for the Heifer Haven. And as far as I know, Russ Clarity is going to be doing Simply Wooden Creations on Saturday night at 8 p.m. And I'm going to try to be over there on his channel for the panel. And then Matt is going to be missing in action next week, but me and Jim Dockrell are going to be doing the Mind Equals Blown next Thursday night. And, and there may or may not still be a Mind Equals Blown when we get done.
Yeah,
we're going to have some fun.
So no All Things YouTube show on Monday, but I am going to try and get another Awesome Wood Things video out tomorrow. God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Well, next Thursday, Jim Dockrell will tell you why it is that Matt couldn't be on the internet.
They'll make something up. I'm not having any more surgeries. It's not
okay, it's a procedure.
I will try and be in the audience.
I bet you will.
To monitor the aftermath.
So we hope everybody will join us. Tell all your friends, because it's liable to be a hoot here with me and Jim Dockrell. Who knows what we'll come up with next week. And y'all have a good week. Try to stay cool and avoid trying to need bail money. How's that?
That'll work.
Bye, y'all.